Hey everyone, it's TJ with the Spotlight Power Trader. Just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of today's trading. It was very efficient, hitting on all cylinders. This is exactly what the Spotlight was designed to do, and it's really great to see the markets moving nice and Spotlight performing as it should. So let's just walk through a few trades that happened this morning. The Russell starts right at 8:30 Central. And there was this trade here, which was way early, and you could see it was in the squeeze zone. So anyway, the first trade came here about 6 minutes after the markets opened, and it got short. Pretty straightforward trade. Came down and hit target 2. It hit a perfect target 3. I mean, right on the nail, as you can see, and then came up. And the other thing I liked about this trade, which I'll show you in a moment, was that the Sub-Zero gave us this exact same setup. And when you have a Sub-Zero setup that corresponds with the Spotlight setup, those are often very strong, and you could even see it by just following this green line. It got below the -20. So then the next setup, these 3 dots going short, even without having the Sub-Zero on your chart, you could see that that's a Sub-Zero. The YM is really slowed down, and markets have been slow in general, so catching them right early on when the session starts is where you're going to get the most activity. The YM, you had to be very patient, but there was one trade. It started right when the market opened. You could see this is a couple minutes after the Russell. It got short here, and it just went right on down. And you could see it was a nice trade, and it made 41 points to target 2, which is $205 per contract. Can't really think too hard on this. And the NQ had it going on as well. It also had a trade, but you had to wait for this short here. This one came and canceled, so you got a short right there instead. And that's a pretty nice little setup, especially when you have a move to try to get higher that doesn't go very far without follow through, and then it starts capitulating down. And so it gets short. And you could see that the first trade of the day today on the NQ is also a really nice winner, a perfect target 3 here as well. And it even got down to, well, missed target 4 by a tick or 2, and then came up and stopped out. And I realize some of you like trading the ES. This 6-tick momentum bar is a chart I like. Here it gets short at around the same time, give or take, and it only gets to money management and then stops out. So the ES was unable to get to its target, but it did get to a break-even trade on its first trade. Crude oil also had an interesting session. You had to be patient. You had this trade that just went on and on and on, but it started way too early. If you're getting in sync, which is certainly a viable technique, right around 9 o'clock, you could have picked up this long trade. The stop held, it pushed up to targets, but we don't typically get in sync, although it is a technique we talk about, and it's certainly an option if you like doing that, if you test it out and like it. On an active market, getting in sync can work very well, but just to keep things simple, I always wait for the new setup. Keeping things simple has value as well, and it works fine. There's a short right here. This is at 10:11 New York time, and it comes down and hits money management and then stops out for a break even, but then you're able to flip over to long, and the second trade gets the work done with a really nice move past all 4 targets and then stopping out. So just target 2 alone was worth $140, target 3 $190, target 4 $240, etc. Forex is pretty straightforward too. You had this trade right here at 8:30. And on the surface, it looks like a great trade, but CPI just came out. It's a red-labeled report, came out right at this time. There's no way to take this trade, and unfortunately, it's just a missed opportunity. But if you're just patient, you're able to pick up this trade here. It's a long trade. It is able to hit its minimum objective, which is at least one target of 10 pips or more, and it does get to target 1, which is 14 pips, and then stops out. So that's still a nice trade for part of your position, the rest of it coming out at break even, and its power of quitting. There were some nice Sub-Zero trades as well, but I want to keep this video short, and we'll just cover some of that in today's quick start training a bit later. So I'm going to end this video, and I hope I see you guys at the training later this evening.